All right, good evening, everybody. We have Christian Caban here. He's the GM of Recess Club of Tallahassee. He's been kind enough to sit down with us this evening to talk about basically the risk in the bar industry and that he and in his business that he sees every day. So now I'm going to pass it off to Christian to introduce himself, and we'll get going with this interview.
Thanks for having me, Chris. I started working for 100 Harp Hospitality when I was 18 years old. Started working the door, kind of worked my way through the ropes. Went to floor manager, head security. Quickly shifted to bar manager, where I held that position for about a year now. And with the leaving of our general manager, they kindly offered me the promotion, and I took it.
Okay, thanks, Christian. Recess, as everyone knows, is an established nightclub in Tallahassee that is primarily known for its rooftop pool bar and exclusive bottle service. Can you give us a quick rundown, basically, of your day-to-day activities in managing the bar and all
that? I'll go with a Monday because Mondays are kind of my busiest day. So Monday morning, I start with a marketing meeting that goes with, we have a couple of interns, a director of operations, and myself. Typically, the bar manager's there, but we don't have one appointed yet. We typically like to go 90 days out and kind of look at all the dates and go from there to kind of pick the promotions that we want to do, the target crowd we want to market. Then from there, I go to recess, actually, where we do inventory for the week. Always want to make sure we have more inventory than less inventory, so we have to make sure that's on point. Then from there, I take out the money from the week before, all the cash. I go deposit to the bank. And after that, I kind of plan my week out for the week and see kind of what days we have. And then from there, I'm typically at recess till about 2 in the morning with an event.
Okay. What is one of the problems you run into during your day-to-day operations? For example, scheduling, having someone pick up, a schedule or a maintenance issue, or like you said previously, accounting for inventory. What are some of those problems that you may run into?
Inventory sometimes is a big problem because a lot of the times in a college town, you're relying on 18, 19-year-old guys for the bar backs to make sure everything's put away properly, make sure everything's accounted for. And sometimes Monday morning when I go to do the inventory, things are not in the right places, so it gives you a false sense of inventory, and sometimes you think you have more than you do. Also knowing what's in the storage unit, because we don't have that much storage space, so we take a lot of our products back and forth. So not knowing what's in there can be an issue. Scheduling is a big issue, especially with college students as well. A lot of them want to take off and have time with their friends, which I understand. So typically, that's another issue.
Okay. The bar business is a risky business, I'm sure, as you know. Itself due to problems with inventory, legal issues, customer disputes, and their lawsuits. Could you just give us some specific examples of some of these risks that you have run into while working for Recess?
Yeah, sure. One of the most commonly issues we have are people disputing charges. That happens all the time. Anytime you're dealing with alcohol, people get overly intoxicated. They don't remember how many drinks they ordered, or one of their friends ordered a drink on their tab. Next day they get their bill. They're like, "What the hell is all this? I didn't order this." So which is why on our end you have to be very organized with the credit card receipts. Otherwise the business has to pay it back. So we have an organizing process with a filing cabinet and stapling checkouts with receipts that we do with that in that process.
Okay. What do you do basically to prevent these lawsuits or inventory issues and stuff like that?
From a bartender standpoint, I like to tell my bartenders, always make sure when you're serving someone that they aren't overly intoxicated. That way they are aware of what they're doing. They don't get thrown out of the club. At the end of the night, taking the right precautions when organizing your receipts. Like I said, we have a filing cabinet. After 90 days, those receipts go from the filing cabinet to a box, which goes to our storage unit, which is labeled. So everything is always accounted for. We know where everything's at. In the past, we dealt with a lot of issues regarding payback, so this is our way of kind of fixing it.
Okay. Recess may be known for its unique pool bar atmosphere, but what issues may the pool present itself? For example, keeping it maintenance, and maybe some insurance issues that you might have or may have experienced already.
Definitely. Having a pool is a great asset to the club. It's something unique for North Central Florida. I don't think they have any pool and nightclubs north of Miami or Fort Lauderdale, um, on the southeast region of the United States. So it definitely brings a crowd and it speaks for itself. Um, Especially having a dance floor on top of it. We have a dance floor that there's only 3 in the whole entire world. $70,000 dance floor. It's built with 18 plates. Each plate is 500 pounds. So it's definitely a unique asset. But on the flip side, there's a lot of liability with it. Anytime you have a pool, there's a lot of liability, especially when alcohol's involved. And our insurance is pretty high because of that.
Okay. How do you go about hiring and finding qualified employees and making them excited to work for your company and come into work every weekend?
Part of that, I mean, we have, in my opinion, the best nightclub in Tallahassee, and a lot of people, I think, want to work for us. Part of that is handpicking your staff to where you have a mature staff that also wants to work, and treating them with respect, but also enforcing the rules and enforcing the procedures. My staff, they're happy to work. They make great money, but when it's time to get work done, they get work done. I think that's very important with establishing that relationship with the business makes money, but also your bartenders make money. When you find that common ground, I feel like your business is at a healthy and successful point in its life.
Okay. Do you think, could you walk us through your training process real quick of maybe the bartenders, barbacks, and maybe even the bottle girls or maintenance personnel and stuff like that?
So for a bartender, we typically like to get them started as a barback. So what we'll do is train for a barback, start with back of the house stuff. Inventory, like I said, is big. Then moving to the front of the house, we're actually making sure stuff is stocked and prepped throughout the night. A problem I have a lot with barbacks is they get lazy sometimes. But in a position like that, your barbacks always have to constantly doing something. For bottle girls, like I said, start back of the house, knowing their equipment that they use, knowing their inventory and their prices is huge, and also establishing a relationship with the clientele, I think, is really big for the bottle girls. There's various same clientele, same faces that come through, and establishing the relationship with the clientele is probably the most important part of that. And going to the bartenders now, in a nightclub, it's kind of difficult, in my opinion, to find that bottom ground of enforcing, your hospitality, and then also serving drinks. Because in a bar nightclub industry, you want to get drinks out in volume. Whereas, in my opinion, I think volume should meet that boundary with quality. But also, so you want to find hospitality, volume, and quantity. All 3 should go together because you want to have a large volume. That's how you're making your money. So having a very knowledgeable bartender, but also a bartender that's fast and knows the prices, and also, like I said, with the bottle girls, knows the clientele.
Okay. So actually tonight you're hosting a pool party that's sponsored by Bud Light, as you all can see from Christian's tank top. It's shown to be a lot of people that are going to be coming out tonight. Expecting a couple thousand people actually. Can you tell us about some more promotional events or sponsorships that you plan on getting in the future to further bolster the Recess brand?
I feel like with a unique venue like Recess, having a pool, a rooftop, great view of Doak Campbell Stadium, I feel like it opens the doors to an upper class type of events that you could do through the longevity of Recess's business lifespan. We're hosting Bud Light tonight, so we have a cool little gig going on with them. I was actually reached out to, I don't know if you're familiar with B-Box.
Yep.
It's actually a new brand that just came out on Shark Tank. It actually hasn't even been aired yet. It's starting, I think it airs the end of May. Mark Cuban actually invested $1 million in it. And we're actually doing an event with them in the end of May. We're doing another pool party with them, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
Okay, cool. This is the last and final question. Are there any plans to expand the Recess brand in the future, like perhaps franchising or moving to another college town and doing the same thing? Because what you have here is a pretty good, pretty unique business idea.
Definitely. This Recess is coming on its second year of being open in this is where you really start to see if the business is healthy and if it can last. Um, so it's really established itself in this town the first couple of years, but I think we're kind of getting past that honeymoon stage, and this is where we're really establishing our clientele and establishing ourselves in Tallahassee for the long haul. Um, and I do know that my boss and my owner of the company, that they are interested in franchising it in the southeast and kind of making it as its own brand. So stay tuned to that.
All right. Thank you very much, Christian. Look forward to all your future endeavors, and looking forward to heading out to Recess in the future and experiencing all that it has to offer. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.